Thanks everybody for coming. We're waiting on Ben, but we can get started because we don't need him right off the bat. So, all right, we're going to start the work session. So first on the work session is our zoning law amendment. Does anybody have any comments that they'd like to talk about? Start? Not the audience, not the audience, the board.
I mean, I'll let you if you'd like.
Okay. Well, what?
I was just waiting. I said I'll let Mike start with the.
So the zoning board amendment or the zoning law amendment, we looked over everything. The general consensus at the board is we're going to vote it down tonight. There are some things that we still like in the law, but there are some things that we don't like in the law. So we're going to maybe revisit it way down the road, or actually maybe in the next regime that takes over in January. We don't know how that's going to go, but as of right now, I think the general consensus is we're going to vote it down. So like I said, for myself, I'm still pro-business, and I know a lot of you disagree with me, but I am still pro-business. I think it's very important for the town in the future that we make sure that our town is strong. So, and I want to take some tax burdens off the residents. Now, everybody don't agree with that, and you're welcome to your opinion, but this is my opinion. So, but like I said, right now, we found some holes in it that we'd like to address. The 25 acres thing is still a concern for us about how big it is. But like I said, most of all, tonight we're going to vote this one down and maybe in the future look at it. Or I know Peter, for next year, if he does get voted in, would like to start the comprehension and master plan all over again, which we should be doing. So, anybody else?
I'll clarify, not all over again, but I think we have certain things that need to be looked at. Our past few board meetings that we've been so well attended. I hope you keep coming. That'd be great. But obviously there are some issues that everybody's concerned about. I think the zoning, our commercial zoning, really needs to be examined very closely, and I think with everybody's input and a lot of studying, I hope that we can come up with something better in the future. So I think that's a big part. One of the reasons why I think the board is leaning in the direction it is. But I thank everybody for their concern and your input. It made a big deal. It influenced us, and I try to think that we're out listening to what people are saying. So, thank you.
Anybody else have anything to say? Okay. Nope. So we'll move on to the next thing on the work session. Paso de Orio Steakhouse is getting ready to open their new restaurant. I think it's going to be sometime in September or the end of September. Now, this is the old grist mill that is on the other side by Burlingame. They're looking to have us just waive their 30-day liquor license waiver that the town asks for. We've done this in the past. We also did it for the Sullivan House. So, anybody have any concerns on that?
No, I think Paso de Oro has been a tried and true and obviously a very successful restaurant. The waiver basically lets them open their doors and have a liquor license. Without it, they would have to stay in business for 30 days, operate before they were granted a license. With the town's approval, State Liquor Authority says that they can get the liquor license right away. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to do that. Like I said, especially as good as they've been here in the village and their other locations.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? No, Jim?
No, I'm good. I read it.
Okay. All right. Hey, Ben. So with that, we're going to start the business meeting. Pledge allegiance. All right.
We're already
Public comment, 3 minutes each individual, regarding anything on the work session. Take your pick. Go ahead.
My name is Alan Tucker. I have to be honest, I do not live in the town of Mamakating any longer. I grew up here. But I'm asking to address you as an ex officio of the town of Mamakating. I was the first chairman of the town environmental commission. 2 weeks ago, I was told to go to the town of Palm City planning board hearing, where several developments have requested approval for developments that they openly admit will run down the mountain and into the Basher Kill. This is out of your area of responsibility, but I want the town board, the residents, the members of the Basher Kill Association to be aware that everyone was looking for growth and not environmental damage. I am going to watch them, and every document I can get from the town planning department, I'm gonna bring to your attention. Because this water is only flowing downhill. So I will keep you all apprised of everything that happens that will affect in a negative way the town of Mamakating and your good judgment to put a hold on any developments that would harm the Basher Kill. Thank you very much.
Kathy Dawkins, Mamakating. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank each of the members of the board for giving consideration to the thoughts and ideas that have been presented here in this room over the course of the last couple months. So personally, from me to you, thank you. I know it's difficult to be a public servant. The decisions are sometimes difficult and complicated. And hearing from the public in the community where you live is sometimes uncomfortable. So I want to thank you for that as well. I would like to say I consider myself as pro-business. I spent a career in the business community. I just feel very strongly that we need to define as a community where, what, and how. And I think that needs to be a community decision. So Mike, we maybe agree on more than you think. And I look forward to participating in a community forum process to define those things. So thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Brittany, you have anybody online? Oh, I didn't see you, Chris. Oh. It's all right. Hey, Chris is going up, Brittany.
Going to talk about this Doro Steakhouse for their license. I think it's a little premature to hurry up and jump on the bandwagon and say we should give this to them because they do well here in Wurtsboro. They've had an awful lot of issues down there over the last few years. And I think someone should be cautious with that. Whether they're legal issues from contractors or not, I don't know what the legal part is to get the legal license and piggyback it perhaps off the one in Wurtsboro. I'm not sure of that, but to be a little bit cautious on that. So they're asking for, according to this, a 30-day waiver as from when they apply, or is that considered now?
No, when they apply.
Sorry, what?
When they apply for the state.
Are they usually, I guess from what a little bit of knowledge I have, they're asking a town, because I read on it before here, and then it goes to the ABC board.
Yep.
All right, I'm just asking.
We don't go over there liquor license. We just have a waiver in our code that says we have to have 30 days. It's a state code too. So, but we're allowed to waive it as a town. So,
Okay, but as I said, I think I would just investigate maybe a little bit further about what's going on over there.
yes.
And then just all of a sudden say, well, they're doing well here in Wurtsboro. Well, that's really not the same good analysis what they're doing down at Burlington.
Right.
Little bit issues there. I don't
Okay.
like to see the board have any problems because they were trying to be kind to give them no problems so they can get their license and open. God only knows when.
Well, actually, Mary's been on that pretty well as a building inspector, make sure everything's safe down there. So everything's going well as far as I know.
Chris, do you have any particular knowledge or insight as to situations that we might not be aware of?
No, just in general, going past there in the last few years that they would go, they'd have somebody there, then the strong rumor is that the contractor left because he wasn't paid. And so there's been issues like that, leave that building sitting there for basically a year doing nothing, and now all of a sudden there's people there. Then they disappear, then they come back, start putting the siding on, if it's the same contractor. I don't.
No, that's not that's not right. What happened is they paid somebody, they stopped working, they're going after them in court. It was a big thing. So they finally got a good contractor in there and everything's going fine. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'd like to say thank you for your decision, and I understand the master plan is a constantly evolving thing because, you know, people move in, people move out. And I appreciate concern for the amount of taxes we pay, although I'll reiterate, I've said several times, they never go down, but sometimes you can keep them a little lower. But I'm still concerned about how this all came about. And I think it was like the MLDC had the idea. So my thing is, I think if you're reviewing the master plan, perhaps you should review exactly how the MLDC functions. I'll ask a couple rhetorical questions. Do like all the people involved, do they live in the town of Mamakating? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Because at one time, I think I saw a couple addresses that were like in Middletown or something. Then you have the question of, you know, if a guy's the president of it and he's a real estate developer and he's going to make money on something that happens, it erodes public trust. So, and I'm not saying anything happened, you guys voted no on it, but it's just something to keep in mind for the future that, you know, once public trust is eroded, you've lost everything, to be honest. So I think, and, you know, in terms of funding, I know they're to do the farm market and the calendar and a couple other things, but realistically, I'm not sure how much any entity is going to bring business into the town. Like 90% of the businesses here were here long before the 2017 when you started the MLDC. And their idea to do this, to maybe put at McDonald's and stuff, I don't think like Danny's or the pizza place, they would have been too happy about that. So, you know, there's always things to look at. And to me, I just think that where I came from in Rockland, the MLDC was a horrible thing. And they were the state comptroller recommended they disband it. I'm not saying it's a horrible thing here, but they were the ones apparently that brought this to fruition to begin with. So, and in the beginning, you guys have to admit, you thought it was a good idea. So if it wasn't for all these people showing up here, that would have been shoved down our throat, courtesy of the MLDC, which we're paying for. So that's just something to think about.
Thank you.
Members of the board, I'd just like to say thank you for hearing us. I know it wasn't easy and I know things got a little heated from time to time, but I'd like to say thank you. And that the BKA looks forward to working with you in coming up with a better plan. Anything we can do to help. We are not against business. We really are not. We want to see Wurtsboro thrive. I've lived here for a long time. I don't want to see anything happen in this town. We love it here. But thank you.
Thank you. Brittany, you have anybody online?
I do not.
Okay. All right, so moving on, we're gonna go to Highway Superintendent Report. I know I saw Tom come in. There he is.
Good evening, everybody. Just a couple quick notes to hit on here tonight. We're continuing and almost done prepping the roads that are gonna get resurfaced, this season. Additional crews have been fixing and honing our remaining dirt roads. We've also been busy repairing damage to ditches, pipes, and cleaning up trees and other debris from all the rain that we've been getting pretty constantly. So that's kept us very busy. All three of our mowers are still out in the town right now, trying to get first pass done. That should be done relatively soon. And then lastly, the Town of Liberty Highway Department graciously allowed us to use / try out their old paver that they're looking to sell. They let us pave our road here, and they're gonna let me take it on the road and do a couple of our town roads that are on the 284 for this year. So I'll report back with how that goes, and if that's something that I think we should purchase, we'll be discussing that. We've never actually owned a paver here in the town of Mankato. We've rented it when need be, and we've used variations of drag boxes, and we've also used contractors. So all three of those things together look pretty well, but actually having a paver on our inventory is probably a good step towards the future. But again, I'll report back on that once we get it in a real world situation. And we'll take it from there. That's all I got. Have a good day.
Thanks, Tom. Next is supervisor report, and I'm actually going to start it with asking for Dana and Dave Lewis to step up. Last week, Dave got in contact, him and Verdana, with the Wirtz family. And if anybody don't know the story, the Wirtz family is the reason Wirtsboro was named. In 1820. Oh, Mamakating, yeah, but I was talking about the Wirtsboro one. So 1825. So Dave got a hold of the family that the Wirtz family that actually live in California now, and they had this picture of William Wirtz, who was a big person in the D&H Canal, and also the village of Wirtsboro was named after because it used to be named Rome. So we got this picture. They gave it to us. So we're going to put it in our historical society building. And, you know, if you got any time to talk to Verdana or Dave, they'll tell you the story. And they are actually here this weekend for the 200th anniversary of the D&H Canal, the Wirtz family. And they were so happy and was ecstatic about the whole thing this weekend. So thanks, Dave and Verdana. If you want to say anything, Dave.
William is actually a family lawyer. He helped orchestrate a lot of right-of-way fire property through here. And the family had this in their attic in California. They had had a house in Florida 30 years. And 30 years ago, they moved to California and ended up up in the attic through the canal committee. Any contact with Lindsay Wirtz, who she married William. There's so many Wirtz in that. Andrew Wirtz. Andrew Wirtz's father, fourth great grandson, but then that decided that Mankato would be the best place to donate. The town graciously accepted it, and now for all of us to enjoy this community that they don't create for us together.
Thank you, Dave, Verdana. Thank you.
Verdana,
Huh?
I heard that this was commissioned by the Delaware and Hudson Canal Company?
No. This was commissioned by the family of John P. Merle. He was a portrait painter in Philadelphia, and he did portraits of people, and this was done in Philadelphia for their family. He's a painter, stopped painting in 1847, and then he died in 1858, so somewhere in there.
And they make people properties, so you have to wait for the company, you have shares, back in, and
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, next is, we had a very busy weekend as a town. So it started out on Saturday, at the street fair. We had a great turnout at the street fair. A lot of vendors. It was very hot, which is normally the case. Saturday night, we had a fireworks and drone show that went pretty awesome out at the airport. Dan Zelnick, the owner of the airport, was tickled pink that it was being used and he had such a great time. And then on Sunday, we had the bicentennial for the D&H Canal, which Janet and Karen Barnes co-chaired, and they did an awesome job on Sunday. And it was a big success the whole weekend. So I want to thank everybody that helped out. Also with the fireworks display, I can't thank Karen Barnes enough, or Karen Barkley, I'm sorry. Karen Barkley enough for all the work that she did. She went out and got all these vendors, and at the end of the day, we barely paid anything for the drone and fireworks display. I think we ended up for something that was right around $30,000. I think we spent like $2 million. So Karen did really hard work in getting all these sponsors and everything else. And we hope to do it next year. So, and then all the girls in the building department helped out that night, parking cars. The assessor's office, Mary Lewis and actually Dave helped that night also. And then, just Karen Barkley, Abigail was here, and yep. Everybody helped. Mary Grass, yes. So it was a building-wide thing that we all got a lot of help out of everybody. Even my office was a huge help. So they kept my paperwork straight. So I like to thank everybody for this weekend. And hopefully we have a lot more weekends like that in the town, festive things. So next is the Shred Day is next weekend. July 19th between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So anybody that has a lot of paperwork that wants to bring it down, it's free. Just come down and bring it down. Karen will be here with the shredder, and you guys can just throw it in there or be gone. So anybody that has anything. So other than that, that's all I really have. So moving on to ratify the 2025 abstract number 13. Because we have the holiday in there, we had 2 abstracts. So one of them is 13 and then the other one's 14. So number 13 was $276,576.28. Can I get a motion to ratify that?
Should ratify abstract 13.
Second.
Motion by Peter, second by John Roofer. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is ratify abstract number 14 for $169,119.68.
Motion.
Motion by Gary,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, financial reports. Everybody get a chance to look at them?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody good? Yep. All right. So can I get a motion to accept them?
Motion.
Motion by Tyler,
Second.
second by Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Approve the minutes from 6/17/25.
Motion to appro-
Motion by Matt,
Second.
second by Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, off to the resolution. One everybody's waiting on, I'm sure. So, the zoning law amendment.
Well, you don't need a motion.
Yes,
Yeah, and so I
a motion to,
would make a motion that the town turn down and reject the amendments as proposed, and then we look further into that in the future.
motion by Peter, second by John Roofer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
One opposed. All right, next, approved a liquor license 30-day hold waiver for Pasta di Oreo.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Peter, second by John Roofer. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. All right, committee reports. Anybody got committee?
I
reports?
do have a committee, I have a couple. I have a report from our assessor for the month of June. The assessor's office received total 78 deeds. 67 of those were in the town, 4 in the village of Bloomingburg, and 7 in the village of Wurtsboro. And then there was also 9 address changes that she processed. I have 3 months, if everybody wants to hear them. I got one. Might not get them. I have one. No, I know I have 3 months from the building department. We want to read all 3 months, or do you want this last?
Just the last.
Just the last month.
We
Okay.
can post the other.
The last month I have would be for the month of May, May 1st, May 31st. The building department sent out a total of 745 emails for whatever reasons they need to. They fielded 578 phone calls. In office, people assisted in the building department was 292. For other offices in the building department, there was 164 people assisted and 17 notarizations. Paperwork and permits, permits for a single family dwelling house, 1, 2, there was 31 other permits issued, 14 renewals for a total of 32 permits. Building certificates issued were 29, violation notices issued were 40. Violations that were corrected were 27, and municipal searches 23. Building inspector did 58 construction inspections, 7 investigations, and made 9 court appearances and collected a total of $250 in fines. Monthly fees received for this year of May was $26,673, which totals to year to date $111,737.50. Mary Grass, our building inspector.
Thanks, Peter. Anybody else have anything?
I have a few items I'd like to talk about. First off, congratulations to Verdana Lawrence. The New York Office for the Aging every year rewards seniors for their extraordinary volunteerism. And even though she didn't win one of the awards, she did receive honorable mention, and I'd like to congratulate her for that. That's an extraordinary achievement. Thank you, Verdana. Secondly, this weekend, what a great weekend for the community. I'd like to thank New York State DOT for stopping by the street fair. And from my conversations with them, we've made a lot of progress towards saving exit 114, and also various elected officials were reiterating what the representatives from NISDOT were saying. They have sent it to the application to the Federal Highway Administration with a recommendation to save exit 114. But I'd like to say that I've also heard some people talking about it's in the bag, it's preordained. Listen, people, we have one more meeting to be scheduled, public hearing in the fall, hopefully just one more. I see the checkered flag in the distance. It's no time to let off on the gas pedal. I just want to ask everybody to be vigilant and let's see this thing through. Let's close the deal and come forward when this public hearing is scheduled. Please show up and enforce.
Matt, I believe they're also going to be looking for more signatures on petitions again, right?
No, I don't believe that's the case. I think it's more of an attendance issue with the public hearing.
Okay.
But let's not get too cocky on this. I'd like to cede some time to Karen Barnes to give us a rundown on the events on Sunday with our bicentennial celebration. And Janet Weigel, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I have programs for my meeting, and two people, board members that weren't there at the program. Thank you for it. Mentioning rundown, that applies to me a little bit. I'm so happy that back on October 23rd, 2019, I started talking about a ceremony honoring the 200th anniversary. People said, nah, that's 5 years from now. I said, well, if I'm still alive, I'd like to do it. So, I'm glad to have thought of it. And then, like, Tom Sawyer, we formed a committee, and all sorts of people came together that never really worked with each other. And I'm gonna honor my co-chair, Janet. But, it started with a cannon fire. I think it's. He didn't aim it at anyone in particular. He had several suggestions, but, he didn't put any ammunition in it. But we then had a parade, wagon rides for children, a whole reenactment ceremony where David was, Philip Hone, he really dressed up for it. We had all sorts of musicians and performers that were organized by members of our bicentennial committee, and they're listed in your program. We had crafts, and the most favorite craft was Lori's making ice cream, of course.
No, it was Lori, Dave Campbell's and Dave,
Dave, I'm sorry, Dave, you burned the other end. Anyway, sorry, Dave. We had demonstrations, and Bill Merchant from the museum in High Falls brought a big tub with water in it and a bilge pump that had been used on the canal, and the kids loved, using a bilge pump, anyway. I want to particularly compliment Emily Lapasardi and Cody Knotts. They are the owners of the house at 85 Sullivan Street where the groundbreaking took place. Exactly 200 years to the day and hour on the original groundbreaking. And they recruited several groups of musicians, performers, used their yard for the lunch and for all the ceremonies, and they're just a fabulous family. Emily and Cody have two young sons the whole family's a bunch of geniuses. The Works family came. We had 9 members of the Works family, and I think 4 of them were from 3 from California, 2 from Michigan, 2 from Massachusetts. And then we had Tara Becker, who was the 5th great granddaughter of Dr. John A. Morrison, whose house is where the original groundbreaking took place. And so we got lucky that the people who own it let us do it again. We had a wonderful costume ball, and that was Emily's suggestion. And she recruited, I think she helped recruit the call. And what was interesting was a lot of groups here worked together. And people that don't normally talk to each other, it really brought the community together, which makes me very happy. And I guess the other thing is, in addition to that, painting, we've got interest in supplying the town with other artifacts and information and genealogies and all these works. People are now more engaged in talking to each other, and there's more of them coming out. So I'm going to shut up and let Janet correct everything I said. I wanted to this event with some of the costume ball fees. We had about 70 or 80 people. Any money left over goes to the Historical Society, so that'll help your budget next year.
Thank you, Karen. We did have a wonderful turnout. The parade and the activities at 85 Sullivan Street were attended by hundreds of people. And then, like Karen said, we finished up with the costume ball. And it was a lot of fun, I would say. Of the 75 people we had there, at least 50 people were up and dancing all night long. I want to thank the town for letting us use, tables and chairs. And also want to thank the county, Sullivan County for the grant that enabled us to put this whole entity on. We've been working on this for 1 year and 5 months. And just seeing all the people's faces made it all worthwhile. So, and thank you to the Sullivan County Democrat, because in today's Democrat is nice half-page article. Thank you very much, and it was well received. And I invite everybody to join us in 2 months on September 13th at 11 o'clock at the Mamakating Library, where we will bury the time capsule. And yes, and there will be a plaque at the designated spot asking that in 50 years it be dug up and added to it. So I know I won't be here in 50 years, but there are a few Works children that we've already enlisted to be here. So, thank you to our committee. Our committee, as Aaron said, worked amazingly. And we couldn't have done it without that committee. So much applause to our committee. Thank you.
Great job, Karen and Janet.
Wanted to say that I want to thank the MLDC and Karen Barnes for getting the grant from the county that actually allowed this event to happen. So, I know we got bashed a little bit earlier, but the MLDC does do some good things. And maybe if everybody pays a little attention, they will realize that the MLDC does have a value. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Anybody else have any more announcements?
I would just reiterate, I spent the whole weekend in the village, in town, and it's absolutely incredible. The amount of people who put so much effort into what we did. We have so much to be proud for in this town. I think we shone like never before. It was just absolutely amazing. I hope everybody had a chance to be here. But I thank everybody for getting together and all the work that was done. I think it was absolutely incredible. And I can't wait to be at the unburying of the time capsule. So I'll be there.
Complimenting us about the road striping. We hired, the county DPW, and it was at Donahue idea, Sergeant Donahue's idea, who's worked tirelessly through this for us, to do the road striping, which was done back at the 150th, 1975. So, I'd love to keep it that way, but I don't think we'll be able to, but, they did a great job, and it was great because it could be done for Founder's Day as well as for our event, so.
Thank you. Just to add on to Janet's thing, along with the police and the sheriff's department and the ambulance, they worked tirelessly all weekend to help us, and also the fire departments on Saturday night. So I'd like to, it was a big community event. Even the police came out and did a great job for all the events. So I just want to reach out and say thank you to them. All right. No other committee reports or announcements?
Ward 1 meeting tomorrow night here at 6 p.m.
Thanks, John. Anybody else? Yes, the pool opened today. We got it fixed around 3 o'clock. So we were going to need it the next couple days, this looks like. So yes, the pool was open today at 3. Okay. Hey, just talking to the mic. They can't hear you online.
I just got a text message from the Wertz family in California, and they said that our community really knows how to party, and they really had a great time. So thanks again, everybody.
Oh,
It was great.
thank you, Dave. And also thank you for all the things that you supplied over the weekend. I had a car, the cannon, everything. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Verdana.
The village and the village game act. So I want to thank everybody also for participating. Just a reminder, this weekend is the Battle of the Minisink. That was our battle. That part of it was being claimed, yes, by Connecticut, but it was in the town of Mammoth, village precinct of Mammoth. The first man killed there was Benzel Tyler, and he was a Mammoth citizen. So we will be placing a wreath. Thank you, Mr. Wood. He always gives me the money so that I can bring it up there, and it will be placed, and it will say, Mammoth remembers.
Thank you. Okay, next, public comment, on anything. Anybody want to bring something up? 3 minutes each individual, 30-minute max. Oh, go ahead, Lori.
So before I get into my usual monthly announcement, I too just want to thank everybody that was involved in the Founder's Day. I don't know if awesome is a word that describes what those fireworks were like. They were just absolutely awesome. Plus, and of course to Karen and to Janet for all the work that they did, put the bicentennial. Dave, I just wanted to say that, fast forward, Dave Lewis, we're the only person I know that has a cannon. And Verdana, that was a great dress. Now on to the important business. Thursday, July 24th is this month's meeting of the Sci-Fi with the Science Guy, 5 p.m. at the library. This month we'll be celebrating the beginning of our 2-month Janet Monroe Festival and all she contributed to sci-fi movies. We'll be showing The Day the Earth Caught Fire, 1962 classic. Please be there. We'll be serving popcorn. Let the library know. So we've actually been getting some pretty big crowds, and I don't want to run out of popcorn.
Thank you, Lori. Hold on, Chris.
I just wanted to say I'm really happy about the vote. While I know it's only temporary and something might come up again, I want us to remember what this community is all about. And it is about our environment and the beauty that people come here for. The Bashakil Association did an absolutely wonderful job as well on Sunday with their float and also all the activities that they had to offer. And they were really aimed at young children and families to try to get more people involved in paying attention to what's going on around here. But I think that for the growth that anybody wants to think about, rather than big business, which really is not going to help our taxes, to be honest with you. And some of it might be raping the land that we have here. So let's be very, very careful about that. But I think that if we were to try to bring businesses that have something that is good for the environment or help to bring people to enjoy the environment here and the Bashakil, because a lot of people live here don't even know about the Bashakil. I think if the town played a bigger part in that, you might be surprised at how many people really come to flood this area to enjoy the beauty of it. I think that's really a lot to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
The dirty little Republicans and the dirty little Democrats each had their tents in the craft fair over the weekend. Why didn't the town have one?
Actually, the only reason I didn't is because we had such a busy day setting up for the fireworks.
I kind of sort of that, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, that was it. I just figured there was no sense. I couldn't get everybody to sit at the table and all day, and I had to be out there, and it was just a busy day. So,
Also, yes, this exit 114 played quite a bit of success to some degree for the fair Saturday. because the traffic was coming in there, which isn't going to happen all the time, but it's just another thought to change my mind a little bit that I guess when needs occur like this, that 114 is viable. And the traffic was lined up as I came in all the way out to the propane tank and the motorcycle place. But it's clearly evident here that someone mentioned it to me that the village of Wurtsboro has to be maintained. It has to exist. Otherwise, in plain English, it's going to wind up like Bloomingburg. There's miscellaneous businesses here that were suggested to me that I wouldn't invest in. And I really don't want to tell the people that it's a dumb idea, but it's a dumb idea. Some of them, like, anyway. So I think the importance there is to do some of the, if you're going to have some zoning, you can't have a eatery such as, we'll call it McDonald's out at the other end, out at 113. You're going to draw away from many of the eateries that are already here, and some of them are small. They just opened up this season already, which as many of the people walk back, I looked at the people, they were enjoying what we had here Saturday. Are they coming back? I don't know. They were here, and it was, I think, probably one of the biggest turnouts that I've ever seen. But in short, we must maintain this village, and it may be, I don't know what the town can do about it, or the village of Wurtsboro, what they can do about it. I know some of the things that they shouldn't do about it. But yes, I think that 114, changing my thoughts somewhat, that it is imperative to keep that. As I said earlier, the traffic was coming up there, quite a lot to come to this event. And maybe they would have got lost someplace to go someplace else to get to this event, but you couldn't come from this end going that way to come, unless you knew the back roads, how to get in and stuff. But anyway, okay, so I guess the town can visit there because they were busy. And very little Democrats and very little Republicans had their little functions. So goodbye.
Thanks, Chris. All right, anybody else? All right.
The other towns, including Middletown, you guys want money. We want to promote the type of business we already have in Village, just small business, keep it quaint, target ecotourism. I don't know who would know how to write a grant, but that's a suggestion I have, and I know that the grants are out there. We've got the history of Wurtsboro. We want to maintain the culture in Wurtsboro, so that's the suggestion I have, tag on to what he said. Just need someone to write the grant. Bring the money in, get the business in, get the buildings better, and then target ecotourism.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I'd like to talk, I'm the county legislator, myself and Terry Bernardo, who represents part of Mamakating. We've been to every public hearing on exit 114. It's a combination of Republican Party, Democratic Party, Board of Trade. No individual should be taking credit. We met with the higher ups in Albany, and they are amazed at the turnout of the people in Mamakating and Wurtsboro to keep 114 open. And I can almost tell you 95% it will remain open. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else? No? Brittany, you have anybody online?
I do not.
All right. So we do not have an executive session, so can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tyler, second by Peter, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Have a nice night. See you on August 5th.